Hi, I'm Aaron Whitaker, owner of Preventia Security and a leading security provider in Nashville, Tennessee. And today we're trying to answer the question, is Nashville a safe place to live? So maybe you're thinking about moving to Nashville, maybe you already live here and you're thinking about moving to a different area. I'd love to give you some insight from our perspective, honestly my perspective as a longtime resident born and raised in Nashville, as well as a security provider. So we install home alarm systems, commercial alarm systems, and we service thousands of customers throughout Middle Tennessee, Nashville being a big core area for us. So just trying to take a look a little bit about what the internet has to say. Is Nashville a safe place to live? The answer is that it's a beautiful city. And statistically, 6.52 violent crimes per 1,000 people. So there's another area that we serve where we were just reading about 38 violent crimes per 1,000 people. So that's very low. That's extremely low for a large city, which Nashville has quickly become. So that information is from 2019, quite honestly. So it's a little bit outdated. We've been going through a trend of about 80 to 100 people a day moving to Nashville for the last several years. So things have turned, but violent crime is not what we hear a lot about. What about property crime? That's a bit more of what we deal with as a security provider, is the property crime. Are people stealing things? That we have seen a huge increase in over the last couple of years. Whether it is a new construction home, people are stealing supplies right off of the job site, whether it is a car parked outside and people are breaking into the car, or the actual break-in, someone getting into your home, getting into your personal space and trying to steal from you. So that is something that we hear about often enough to know that it is a legitimate concern. Now, Nashville, it's a big city. So you're probably looking at what areas to possibly live in. And there are certain pockets that are arguably far safer than other pockets. Okay, so I've got here one of my favorite websites, NashvilleGuru.com. Great place to look for events, restaurants, information like that. But just referencing the different areas of town, they do a good job of the neighborhoods. So 12th South, very safe neighborhood, mostly has been remodeled, changed over from kind of the area that it was 10 years ago to a very nice area, family oriented, still has restaurants. I would say that on a scale of 1 to 10, you're trending closer to a 7. You're still close to downtown. You're potentially exposed to some more crime, but overall the core area is pretty safe. You've got 8th Avenue. There's not as much residential around there, but you're probably going to be a little more likely for property crime in that area. You've got the Belmont area. Belmont, heading out further west, that'd be like Belmead, getting out into Bellevue. Traditionally a very safe area, great area to be. On the north side of town, I'm gonna go ahead and rate that as an area that we're seeing a higher number of incidents. The development in Nashville is starting to happen there. And when you start to have the new construction as well as the existing homes and just what that area has been for a long time, there is a higher percentage of crime in that area. So I would say North Nashville, Northwest Nashville are still some pockets where I'd be more concerned and pay close attention, or take some steps like a home security system or cameras to protect yourself there. As you go south out of town, really getting outside of town, you might, a lot of families may be looking at Nolensville, directly south. Anywhere going down the 65 corridor is typically going to be expected as safer. So you've got Brentwood, Franklin. Check out our other videos as we talk about Spring Hill and Columbia. But as you get farther outside of that Metro Davidson area, you'll find it to be a more neighborhood area and trend a little bit less on the property crimes. Green Hills is a very safe area. I'd say, one of the things that is positive there is just the demographic has always been, good in the sense that it's family oriented and not as much crime there. The police department, as you get out of Davidson County into Williamson County, is well funded. Davidson County is too, but Metro and Nashville obviously has its struggles like any big city and is struggling with growth. So in East Nashville, I'm going to classify that still as kind of the moderate level. It's a little bit higher likelihood of crime happening to you there. You can experience a drastic difference street by street almost, just because of the way that the development is happening. A lot of it is a tear down and rebuild. You'll see that throughout all of Nashville, but that's something I would pay close attention to. Just checking out the neighborhood, seeing which streets have, what kind of homes are there, what is that kind of trending towards, and I think you can find a very safe place to live. Of course, we see a pretty high penetration of alarm systems in Nashville and Metro Davidson area. It just gives people a lot of peace of mind. The police are fantastic with response times, and so it's a really, really effective tool to keep your home safe by having that home security system. So hopefully that's just a little bit of information as you're starting to navigate Nashville and an inside view from a security provider here in Nashville, Tennessee.